What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and I have a little underdog action for you. I am bottom tiered in this round. Of course, I'm in the Kamikaze R, so am I really bottom tiered? Even though I'm facing tier 7 ships, anytime you're in the Kamikaze R, I don't think you can be counted out. Honestly, I'd probably take this ship into a tier 10 match, and I have no doubt that I could probably do good in it. That's how comfortable I am in this ship, and that's how good I believe this ship is. And it kind of reminds me of the days back when you actually could fail div. I remember taking an Kamikaze once into a high tier round and securing about 4 kills just because the detectability of it is so low. As long as you don't get radared, and actually I think this was before radar, so with no radar to worry about, you could just really run the tables. But I digress. This video is about how to be the underdog, and you have to be very careful. And I know right now that I have a few ships I need to worry about. I am concerned about this Farragut right here. I am definitely outgunned by it, so I'm going to give it a wide berth while kind of going on the offensive, firing these fast-firing torpedoes. But knowing your ship is a very important aspect about being the underdog and being low tier. And you have to play smart. You have to play to your ship's abilities and its strong points. And I know this ship's strong point is its detectability, low concealment. And I'm going to use that to my advantage by scooting around these ships. Now, sometimes you can't go on the offensive as early as you'd like. This round got off to a very slow start for me. I did get a cap, which you're seeing right here. But I had to be careful because I don't have a lot of hit points. There's a lot of other ships out here that can gun me down fairly quickly. So I have to use my concealment to my advantage, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take a really wide berth. And you can see right here, this Farragut, he is pushing in towards me, which is forcing me to go into retreat and use smoke right here. I do not want to get into a gunfight with them. I'm going to hopefully get lucky with the torpedo hit here. That's what I ultimately want to happen, though he is pretty quick and nimble, and he seems to know what he's doing. So I'm going to try to avoid him right now. I'm going to retreat. I don't want to get out of this round early. I really want to have a good round in this Kamikaze R. So moving on, some other things to talk about right now while we're just kind of watching this gameplay. USS Texas has been moved out of its home. It is now in dry dock and it's being repaired, and that is absolutely awesome. You know, the ship's over 100 years old. I'd love to see it around another 100 years. Salt water does not do good things whatsoever to ships, and you can see why. That's one of the reasons the ship is having so many issues. It just eats away at the hull. You look up at the naval park in Buffalo, and what's the God, was it a Gearing or Fletcher class up there? I can't remember which one it is. The Sullivan's brothers. I think it is a Fletcher class. I'm having a brief memory fart right now. But that ship got eaten alive, and it started capsizing and failing, and they had to do some very quick damage control to it. And fortunately they were able to right it. But these ships, it's expensive maintaining these ships. You know, a lot of people wonder why we don't have more museum ships out there. Well, I guess to use kind of, and you can see right here I'm being shot at by a lot of things. I'm going to kind of escape and evade again. I'll use trains as an example because they are a lot smaller, and they're still made of steel. Steam engines for that example. And you've got a lot of them out there that have been around over 100 years. But these are complex machines that have steam and all kinds of things going through them. Time has eroded them, and to keep a steam engine going requires a lot of effort. To keep it running requires a lot of effort. Boiler inspections to make sure everything is in working order and safe to use on the railways. Tires, or wheels for that matter. And when I say tires, I'm not saying T-I-R-E-S, I'm saying T-Y-R-E-S. They require to be changed out often. I mean, there's a lot that goes into keeping an old piece of equipment running, and fortunately a lot was salvaged. Trains make a lot of money though, especially in Great Britain, so the money is there to keep these things running. And when it is not feasible to do so anymore, they go into a museum and sit statically where time does not erode them, and the rigors of running on actual rails. That's something small, which costs millions of dollars to maintain and upkeep. We're talking about a giant ship that can no longer run, that's just sitting there in a highly corrosive atmosphere. Not only does seawater eat at it, but you've got rain and everything else. So, while a train costs millions, can you imagine what something the size of, well, a battleship costs? It costs a lot to maintain them. That's why it's more profitable to salvage and scrap these things than it is to keep them as a museum ship, because it requires so much money, and not every state has that, not every trust fund has that. You just can't do it. So we are very fortunate to have the 4 Iowas preserved, in my opinion. We're very fortunate the USS Texas is still around. Obviously, the smaller destroyers are a little easier to maintain. Only slightly easier, though. I'm not going to say it's much easier. I mean, it still requires a lot to keep them maintained. So we're very lucky Texas is being able to be fixed, and I'm glad they are. And I hope they keep the steel that they peel off of it and can reforge it into knives or something. I'd purchase one. And you see right now, I've done what I had set out to do. I have made it around the enemies, I've snuck around them, and I've got my eyes on this aircraft carrier. And was I carrier hunting? No, I wasn't. I don't want to say that I was carrier hunting, because I really wasn't. That was not my plan to go out and hunt aircraft carriers. And you can see right now, I still have no damage whatsoever. This late into the round. That's about to change, though. And this Caracolio is Italian, Caracolio, however you pronounce it. I'm not Italian. My first volley of torpedoes were behind it. I forgot how fast they really are. So this time around, I aimed a little ahead of it. And again, I'm using my concealment to my advantage, that low detectability, and this is where things are going to start to change. This carrier right here, he's not moving. He doesn't know that I'm out here. He has no clue. He's focusing on other things. So 7-kilometer torps. I don't have to be seen. I'm just going to launch all of them right at him. I don't even have to aim. Look at this. Beautiful. And I've got a lot of battleships that decided to hide in the back right now. They're just sitting here. So I played this ship to its advantage, being low tier. I used my very low detectability to sneak around everything, get in the back. I mean, it's almost like Battlefield. I don't know why I decided to take the heads-up display off right there. I thought maybe that'd make a cool screenshot for this video. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's kind of like Battlefield or Call of Duty or any first-person shooter where you sneak behind the enemy lines, you're behind everyone, and you're able to just take out everyone. So there we go, 40,000 damage right off the bat right there. Well, not right off the bat. The round is 3/4 the way over, and they know I'm here now. They're coming after me. They want me. But they're not going to get me. This is just the beginning of securing a fair amount of damage right now. That Caracolio, he evaded my torps once again. That Farragut is still out there. He's somewhat of a menace for me. I'm just going to push this this ship right now. I'm going after it full speed. I've got the jump on it. I know he doesn't have his guns on me, and he's not going to be able to get them around in time, so I'm just going to take him out as well. Leave my smoke. Use my use my ship's offensive capability to the advantage, and I knew I was going to take a little damage, but it's not that much. And since I didn't fire my guns, you know, I'm not detected right now, so I am just going to go around and try and get this. So here I am amidst a bunch of battleships, and 80,000 damage, doing pretty good. I'm not detected still. I know this Farragut's probably coming after me now. This round is securely in our hands. It wasn't for a little while. It was pretty close for a little while. It was pretty close. And here's this Nagato. And, you know, it's not that often that I get to face Nagatos and higher tier battleships in this ship. So really this round was one that I'm happy I got, because it allowed me to rekindle my low tier love for this ship when bottom tiered. And you can see that this ship is still a force to reckon with at every tier. But even if I wasn't in this ship, I would still approach this round in the same way. If I was in, what is it, the Kamikaze at this level, I would still approach it the exact same way. I would use my concealment to my advantage. I would stay undetected. I would give a wide berth of that Farragut that's right there coming after me right now, who's just kind of starting to hunt me a little more. So it doesn't matter that I'm in an overpowered ship, because let's face it, the Kamikaze is probably the one most overpowered ship in the game. I mean, that doesn't matter. The things that I'm doing right now, there's that little high caliber, very nice. The things I'm doing right now, I would have done in any destroyer at this tier I was in if I was bottom tiered. I would still use the same principles that I'm using right now. I would still wait to make my offensive attack, which I did in this round. You saw it. It took me almost 3/4 of the round to get to a point where I felt comfortable going on the offensive. And that's one thing you got to remember. You got to play the long game. You can't just go out there and expect to get a lot of damage up front. And I think that's what a lot of players, I would say that many players make that mistake. They want that damage right away, and they don't play the long game. And that is a recipe for disaster. The longer you're in the round, the more likely your team is going to win. If you get sunk right away, you're just going to be the peanut gallery, getting frustrated when things don't go the way you want. So, especially if you're low tier, is important. And here we go. I got that Farragut right there. There is just one submarine left at this point. We're at 960 points, going up right now, and I finish off with 136,000 damage, which, you know, if this was a straight tier 5 round, that would be a lot of damage. I'd be very, very happy with that. But being low tiered, I'm even happier about that. You know, it's hard to get over that 100,000 damage mark in a tier 5 ship. Chisari is one of the other ones that can usually do it fairly often. And that's the end of the round right there. Very good round. Just some points on, you know, how to beat a low-tiered ship. Some pointers. But, yeah, very fun. Enjoyed it. And, oh, look at that. But it's Kamikaze R. So does this really count? You know what? We'll say it does. It's a good round nonetheless, being bottom tier. Anyhow, take it easy. Hope you're all doing well. Zoop out.